Today we're going to share some move-out information for the spring 2021 semester. We'll get started with some important dates for the semester. In early April, we're going to ask students to share their end of semester plans with us, and that's by filling out a form in the housing portal. The form will ask students to share their anticipated checkout date and time. And then if their checkout date is after the closing date for the semester, it'll also ask them to submit an extended stay request and share why they're submitting that request. Some reasons that a student may submit that request are if they're taking a Maymester course, if they're graduating, or if they're a sibling of a graduate. And there are other reasons why students submit that request, either for work or for an internship that's ending later. But we have had them submit that request as part of the end of semester plans form. The residence hall closing date for students not with an approved extended stay request or not graduating is May 12th at noon. And then for folks who are participating in commencement, the residence halls close at noon on the day after commencement. So like I said, students with an approved extended stay request are permitted to stay late, but everyone else, we're asking them to check out 24 hours after their last final exam or by May 12th at noon. Students who are participating in a university-sponsored activity or are facing other extreme circumstances should submit that extended stay request. And graduating seniors who are participating in commencement should still submit that extended stay request, and we'll validate that they're registered for commencement when we're approving their request. So how do a student check out? Students should work with their roommate to complete the move-out checklist. Students have been sent that via email. It's also on our move-out website at housing.tulane.edu. It's important that they follow the checklist because we want to make sure those rooms are ready to go for the summer and they don't leave personal belongings behind. Some important things to make sure that students do when they check out is, again, remove all personal belongings, make sure their doors are locked, and make sure any maintenance issues have been submitted before they head out. All students need to pick up an express checkout envelope, fill that out, and then return it to officially check out. If they don't do that, they won't be considered checked out by their checkout date in our system. The reason why we're doing express checkout envelopes is to avoid contact between students and RAs and other staff during closing. So again, I just want to make it very clear that all students need to check out by returning in an express checkout envelope, even students who don't have a key. So students who live in Weatherhead, for example, or Wall, who don't have a key, should still complete the envelope and turn it into the Housing and Residence Life Office to officially check out. Once we process that envelope, they'll be checked out of the system for the spring semester. So students who do not check out and do not return an express checkout envelope and their key will be charged $100 for an improper checkout, in addition to a fee for the unreturned key. So if the student lives in Sharp, for example, they didn't turn in their envelope and they didn't return their key, the total of the charges would be $200 for not following checkout instructions. So lots of folks have questions about summer storage as we prepare for closing, and now is a good time to start thinking about how students will be handling their belongings for closing. The university works with an approved storage vendor to provide summer storage for our students. There is only one approved vendor on campus, and we've worked with them to establish some clear guidelines for how we'll provide service to students and secure their belongings, while also working safely on campus during the pandemic. Our approved storage vendor is University and Student Services. We work with them not only for student storage, but also for redelivery into rooms in the fall for both students who are shipping items to campus and students who stored their belongings over the summer. If you want more information about University and Student Services, they have a website. It's unss.com/Tulane. Okay, so we're on USS's Tulane University website where you can see information about summer storage. You'd want to take a look at the guidelines for storage of on-campus students' belongings here. You can also look at pricing and supplies there as well. We're going to go ahead and just show you what it's like to sign up for storage. I'm going to scroll down here and find Tulane on-campus summer storage and select my options. So when you sign up for storage and you pay the registration fee, what's included in that is some supplies for pickup to help students start packing. So when USS is on campus starting on April 26th, folks who've already registered can pick up their supplies and start packing. They can also register on campus at that tent on McAllister Drive starting on April 26th. But let's say, I live in Butler. You can add additional insurance for your stored items or not. You would add that to your cart. And that's it. After you're done adding to your cart, you would view your cart and check out. That's all you need to really do to initiate the storage process. Okay, so once you've paid to register for storage, the items that your students pack can be left in their room when they have residence halls closed. So that's the one exception to leaving personal belongings, is that students who are using USS for storage can fully pack all of their belongings and label everything that's going to be stored and leave them in the room. And then once the residence halls close, we'll work with USS to provide access to spaces where students have stored belongings and pick up those items for storage. Those are then brought to a climate-controlled facility in New Orleans to store until the residence halls reopen again in the fall. Before students come back to campus in the fall, if they're living on campus, we'll share their new room assignment with USS, so the belongings get to the new room assignment before the student moves in. If they're living off campus, students should communicate with USS what their new delivery address will be, so that their belongings get delivered to the right location. They'll also want to schedule a drop-off time and day as well. So USS will be on campus on McAllister Drive right outside the LBC starting on April 26th to both sell individual boxes, but also allow folks who've registered to pick up their box kits. Box kits contain 5 large boxes and packing tape. And then more information is on the unss.com/Tulane website about prices and other FAQs related to storage. I just want to make sure that I caution folks against using unapproved storage vendors. It's important to note that those organizations are not approved storage vendors through the university, which means that they will not be permitted to enter the residence halls for the purposes of collecting stored items, and they'll not be able to operate on campus. And so if a student is using an unapproved storage vendor, they're not going to get the same service they would get from USS. And the reason why we went with USS is that they have the capacity to handle the volume of storage that Tulane students typically use. The student-run organizations typically do not have the capacity to handle a large volume of orders. So if you have questions, I'd encourage you to go to the Housing and Residence Life website at housing.tulane.edu and check out the spring move out page. There's a lot more information about donations and where students can throw away trash and how to check out, and some just general good reminders for students on that page. It also includes a move out checklist for students. So that's an important website for all of them to read. We do send several reminders to students to get them thinking about move out and point them to that site. But that is the source of truth for all move out information. And then if you have questions for USS about summer storage, I encourage you to go to unss.com/Tulane or contact USS directly via the contact form on the website to get your questions about summer storage answered.